Metal Slug 2.
Metal Slug was a breakthrough game on the Neo Geo. It seemingly came out of nowhere and impressed me like very few other games did in 1996. People have to understand that when the original Metal Slug was released, everyone was already playing the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation. And we all had Super Mario 64 fever as the game was gearing up, getting ready for release. So for a 2D game to come along and be as impressive as it was, well, that was really something. Fast forward 2 years and SNK released Metal Slug 2, made by the same awesome folks who made the original game, Nazca, who were by this particular point in time absorbed into the larger SNK parent company. So what's Metal Slug 2 all about? Well, more or less, it picks up right after the events of the original game and features many new and improved features. For one thing, there are now 4 playable characters. Eerie and Theo join the fray, with Marco and Tarma back from the original game. The good old Metal Slug returns, but this time is joined by the likes of the now classic Camel Slug, Slugnoid, and Slug Flyer. Each helps to make the gameplay that much more interesting. Metal Slug 2 is also the first game in the series to feature character transformations. If you collect enough food items, your character can become obese, which lasts for a portion of time, or until you find a diet pill or are killed. The other transformation is that of being turned into a mummy. This happens whenever you're hit by that purple gas other mummies spew out. Get hit with another blast, and you die. While it looks funny getting transformed, you're always penalized in some way, shape, or form. For the mummy as an example, you fire much slower, you walk super slow, and you can't make use of a variety of abilities. These new features add an entirely new dimension of humor to an already funny series. The same fantastic audio-visual presentation that you've come to expect is back, and honestly, the game is a true delight to the senses. Or at least it would be if it weren't for one glaring fault. And it's what I'm sure many of you are kind of wondering why I haven't mentioned as of yet. So what am I talking about? The incredible amounts of slowdown. This is one aspect of the game that has always perplexed me. And I say this because the game had a 2-year development cycle, and yet the copious amounts of slowdown literally bring the game to a halt. And this Arcade Archives port of the game replicates the game as it was originally, meaning all of the slowdown is present. I'd love to say that it's not noticeable, but that would be a blatant lie. It's incredibly noticeable and affects gameplay whenever it pops up, which is pretty much all the time, as you can see in this video. SNK would go ahead and release an updated version of this game called Metal Slug X a few months after, and I always thought they did that as sort of an apology, since it fixes most of the slowdown and adds new features, but I'll cover that in a future review. If you adored Metal Slug, I would recommend giving this one a look, if for no other reason than to see how much slowdown is possible in a single game. Yes, Metal Slug X and Metal Slug 3 are better games, but there's something special about this one, slowdown and all.